So, the state of play happened today, and it really wasn't all that bad, but something didn't sit well with me, and I was trying to figure it out. So, we had an update for Crash Bandicoot, and we had a bunch of other trailers. We had Returnal, um, some other Sifu, which looked interesting, but it really didn't tell us much other than you fight and get old. Uh, but all in all, I mean, it was kind of what I expected the state of play to be, for the simple fact that it's only February, uh, and it's only the beginning of the year, and I'm figuring for the holiday season we really don't see the big heavy hitters when it comes to trailers and announcements until closer to E3 March, June. I mean, not March, May and June. And so it wasn't all that bad. Side note that Five Nights at Freddy's security breach, whatever, looks really interesting, but I have no intentions of playing that thing. I might watch somebody play it on YouTube or something. And it was 30 minutes, and like I said, it wasn't all that bad. And once it was over, I immediately, told myself, okay, watch everybody hate it because it was nothing really special. We had that death loop, games we've already known about already, and everything else that was announced, wasn't all that special. But I watched it again, and it finally hit me as to what bothered me, and that was the final announcement where the folks at Square Enix announced that Final Fantasy VII Remake, you can play on the PlayStation 5, and if you have the PlayStation 4 edition, which I presume if you have it, that's the only one you have, you can get a free upgrade to the PS5, and that's all fine and dandy. But the one thing that really, really unnerved me was with the Final Fantasy VII remake for the PS5 with new graphics, lighting, and all these filters and what have you, which is great if you're into that thing. Was that they're gonna be adding a new episode to the game that's available for purchase, and it stars Yuffie. But this episode, DLC, what have you, is only exclusive to the PS5. And I went to the Square Enix website just to make sure I understood that, and sure enough, in this description of the game, it says this episode you can only get on the PS5, and I had a really big issue with that because for those that wanted the game, you bought it on last gen PS4. I have it. I played it. I didn't finish it, but this is where Square Enix, or Enix, if you will, is basically saying if you want to continue playing this game, you have to play it on current gen. And it's a game. I mean, this is not a side game, and I mean that in the vein of, let's say, Uncharted Lost Legacy, or The Last of Us, what was it, Left Behind, or something like that, or even the Spider-Man Miles Morales. I get that. If you want to make a side game that's a few hours, or 10, 20 hours, or what have you, and you sell it separately, or if you sell it exclusively for the PS5, I'm all for that. But this right here is an episode, so I'm presuming, on the guess that this episode is going to be a few extra hours of content, and the only way to play that is if you purchase to the next gen. And it's not like this is brand new level of gameplay. Yeah, it's going to be 4K and 60 frames per second and all that, but the game the game is still based off the foundation of last gen hardware. I don't see where there's no way that Square Enix could not have made this available for the PlayStation 4. So this really, really bothered me because, I mean, as we all know, the PlayStation 5 is very hard to get. Um, it seems everybody understands well, anyway, it's still not available in stores. When the websites do get it, they sell out quickly. I think sometime today, Costco had it for a little while, and it quickly sold out. The only way to get it with any level of assurity is to, spend twice as much on it, which I have no intention of doing. And hopefully I'll get one, sometime this year. But the idea that in order to play an episode, which I presume they're going to charge, $10, $20 for, it just doesn't feel right. It's a continuation of the game. So for me, and let me preface by saying, I understand it's just a game. I am not flipping over tables or knocking over printers. I don't have to play the game. I have the choice with my money whether or not to support this level of business. But it's a continuation of the game. It's a DLC of the main game. And it is of my belief that Square Enix should provide this to all supported platforms. And they're not. So for those of us that still have PlayStation 4s and have purchased Final Fantasy VII Remake, we're out of luck. We don't get the game. We have to buy a brand new system, upgrade our game, and then purchase it. And it gives me the impression that Square Enix has become the evil corporate entity that they make fun of with Midgar. I mean, with Shinra. I'm sorry. Where they say, hey, corporate companies are bad and evil, but we're gonna do something like this. It just feels scummy. I mean, I personally would like, I purchased, I think, the deluxe edition, and typically, the deluxe edition comes, with all DLC included, and it didn't say that, and I understand. But to have to go out, if I want to continue my experience with Final Fantasy VII Remake, I have to not only do a purchase separately, but I have to buy a whole new system to do that. So I have to commit $500+ to experience an extra, few hours of gameplay. And like I said, I'm gonna get a PlayStation 5 anyway. And chances are they already know that. But it just doesn't feel right anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone thinking of this. But tell me, what do you guys think? Do you think this feels kind of wrong? Do you think it's perfectly fine? Let me know. Post it in the comments below. If you like what I had to say, feel free to hit that like button. If you want to hear more of my ramblings, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you guys next time.